I believe that this moment is going to go down in cinematic history, and I'm sure some of you feel the same. A lot of people online have said that this moment really spoke to them. Welcome to your cinematic checkup. I'm Dr. Peter, and today we're examining Inside Out 2. And as always, I want to take a quick moment to thank you all for your awesome comments on my last video. Here are some of my favorites, and I'm excited to see what you have to say on this one. Maybe you'll get your comment featured next time.
This is Joy, coming to you live in Riley's mind. 1, 2, 3, 4! Greet your team, Riley! Playing in his 13th year and fresh from the penalty box.
This introduction is pure genius. If you remember the original Inside Out, which I also examined, you could check that video out after this, we learned that Riley's mind is run by 5 main emotions: joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. And personally, I love this concise portrayal they just showed in this movie of fear versus disgust, because it's chef's kiss. It's economical script writing.
No, that's not ours! And that, folks, is the infamous disgust.
And then we're also quickly introduced to new characters in Riley's emotional headquarters. We meet Anxiety, played by Maya Hawke, and she debuts as a protective mechanism, I want you to hold on to that, against potential dangers as Riley faces new adolescent challenges externally and internally. And in real life, anxiety is a normal emotion that every one of us experiences, especially during periods of change. However, and this is a point of the movie, and we'll see it as we get through the rest of the film, when anxiety runs rampant, it can paralyze us, such as in generalized anxiety disorder, which we'll discuss in a bit. Ask yourself, how does your anxiety manifest? And when is it protective versus problematic? I'm looking forward to hearing your stories in the comments.
My penalty almost lost us the game today. What if I get to camp and I screw it up?
We can make everything easier. This is for all those memories that belong in the back of the mind. A one-way expressway to, we're not gonna think about that right now. Woo!
Did you notice how some of Riley's core memories and memories in general from the first movie are changing? This ties into a neurological process that we call synaptic pruning. Think of like vegetables or your garden, where the brain eliminates certain pathways of neurons, which are brain cells, and synapses, the connections between those brain cells, during adolescence. And this process is essential for all of us to gain cognitive efficiency. Think of it like brain highways. But it also reflects how we might lose touch with certain memories over time. What are some of your earliest memories? I remember my first was I was in a stroller. At least I think I was. At the age of 2, my friends and I were at a park, and they asked me if I wanted ice cream. And it just seared itself. They were silhouetted by the sun, and I just remembered ice cream.
Riley, you aren't packed yet?
You're always on me! Can't you just lay off for like 1 second?
I'm the worst!
Oh no, honey.
I barely touched it. I'm too gross to go to camp or anywhere ever again!
Oh yeah, this is totally broken.
I love to see that the creators of Inside Out 2, led by Pete Docter, hi, I'm Dr. Pete, address some of the biological changes of puberty. Puberty is driven by hormones from the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. That's the brain pathway that causes puberty to happen. It leads to breast development in girls, testicular development in boys, and those are the key indicators of puberty starting. There are 5 stages of puberty based on breasts, pubic hair, testicular volume, penile length, menstruation, and we used to call this Tanner staging, but now we call it sexual maturity rating. Now, briefly, girls start puberty between the ages of 8 through 13, although we're seeing that it's getting lower and younger in age, and boys start between the ages of 9 through 14. It can last up to 8 years, and if you're interested in learning more, there's so much to talk about. Please like this video and send it to 2 friends. If we get 50 new subscribers from this video, I'll know that you want me to make a detailed video on puberty for y'all. Again, these hormonal fluctuations from the hypothalamic to pituitary gonadal axis trigger not just changes in your physical, but your emotional highs and lows, and it can often leave families positively bewildered by teenagers' actions and teenagers of themselves bewildered by their feelings, and often it creates this misunderstanding. This roller coaster is a normal part of growing up, but it can lead to a lot of stress, and it can be a lot to manage. How has puberty or adolescence impacted your emotional world?
We have to do is be super awesome at camp. Coach will put us on the team, and we'll all be Firehawks!
Wait, what was that? What was what? We got a look. Enhance 224, 176. Track right, zoom in, right there.
In this scene, and one of my top 3 in the movie, Disgust notices a slight change in Grace's facial expression, which illustrates the power of something that I love called emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence involves recognizing and understanding subtle emotional changes through both verbal and nonverbal cues. Disgust's keen observation highlights how multifaceted communication is. Communication is 55% body language, 38% vocal inflection, and only 7% content. This is from a study that looked at how well we process mixed messages when somebody's body language and words do not align. And I'll try to prove it to you with an experiment. I love you. Did you notice anything? And in daily life, do you notice nonverbal signals like facial expressions or body language?
We need to make something up.
I'm from all over.
Nice.
See you out there. Hey, you want to sit with us? Oh, she wants to sit with us.
Did you notice one thing about Val? Val never, ever peer pressures Riley. I think this is pure genius because the filmmakers were intentional about this, and it shifts our discussion from one of peer pressure to inward pressure, Riley's pressure on herself, social acceptance, and its impact on her mental health. And envy comes into the picture. She compares herself, often leading to feelings of inadequacy and embarrassment. And speaking of embarrassment, he's in this movie too because he's a normal part of growing up, especially during teenage years, because teenagers become more self-conscious, and everyone experiences embarrassing moments as part of life. But these moments are 9 times out of 10 not as big of a deal to others as they seem to us, but we have that pressure on ourselves. And this need to belong can lead to something called identity questions, your salient identity, what you think about yourself. These identity questions about which groups we belong to or belong to more than other groups cause significant stress within us. And it's exemplified when Riley picks the Firehawks' new friends over her lifelong friends, Bree and Grace, causing the start of the rift in this movie. Have you ever felt pressure to change who you are to fit in? And how did that affect you?
Now's the time to send up every possible thing that could go wrong. We are looking to the future. Okay, let's go to number 3. Bree and Grace's team win, and we look stupid.
Okay, just like our discussion in Inside Out 1, we talked about sleep. And in this scene, we see Riley struggling to fall asleep, but this time, for different reasons. Her mind now is racing with anxious thoughts and worries. So let's talk about sleep hygiene. Sleep is critical for your optimal health overall, and it's one of the first things I screen for, pun intended, with my patients because it can disrupt your mood, metabolism, memory, and so much more. Yet many teens and grown-ups experience difficulties with sleep due to hormones and stress and screen time. So you can imagine how excited I am when Toy Story 5 announced it's going to address screen time. But how can you improve your sleep hygiene? You have to keep your room dark, cold, and quiet, and avoid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine in general, but especially in the evening before going to bed. Turn off your screens 1 hour before bed to optimize your sleep health. You should also use the blue light filters on your devices, and of course, talk with your doctors. And because I have a wide range of people watching my videos, hi, I see you, I want to talk about the different sleep expectations based on age. So newborns ages 0 through 3 months sleep between 14 and 17 hours per day, often in 2 to 4 hour intervals. Infants aged 4 through 11 months sleep 12 through 15 hours per day. This includes naps. Toddlers 1 to 2 years old sleep 11 through 14 hours per day. Preschoolers between the ages of 3 and 5 sleep between 10 and 13 hours per day. School-aged children, 6 through 13 years old, sleep 9 through 11 hours. And teenagers, 14 through 18 years old or 19 years old, sleep between 8 through 10 hours. But the important thing to know about teenagers, and I talked about this on my TikTok, is their circadian rhythm, their normal sleep cycle, shifts. So they sleep later and wake up later, and that's normal. Then when they become grown-ups, it shifts back, and so they'll sleep 7 through 9 hours per night. And then older adults, 65 and older, sleep about 7 to 8 hours per night. How has your sleep been lately? Are you even giving your brain a rest so it can function at its best?
Riley misses an open goal. Coach writes about her notebook. Yes! Oh no, they're using Riley's imagination against her.
This was also one of my favorite moments in this entire movie. This is a horror scene. Anxiety is weaponizing Riley's imagination, and it makes Riley imagine the worst outcomes of her hockey game. This scene spotlights our secret superpower, and it's called perspective switching. So perspective switching is when you change how you view a situation to gain new insights and mitigate those negative effects. And just like anxiety usurped Riley's imagination for bad, our thoughts and imagination can reshape our lives, and it can often build the cages that we put ourselves in. By asking what-if questions, we can explore different perspectives and potential outcomes, which is healthy. But when we dwell on the worst case scenarios, always, we spiral and we shift our focus away from positive or even neutral possibilities into negative possibilities. What is something that has been eating at you? I encourage you to flex that superpower that you have, practice perspective switching, and imagine the best positive outcomes. And just take note of how your mood changes. And just a quick plug for a TED Talk video that changed my life. It was about how we think we're supposed to fake it till we make it, but actually, if you fake it long enough, you become it. So you change how you see yourself, and then others will change how they see you too. It's very powerful. I'll link it down below.
Where are you putting us?
The same place we keep all of Riley's secrets.
We're not secrets.
Oh, yeah. We're not secrets. We're making a big mistake.
Ever heard that?
In this scene, Riley's emotions find themselves trapped in the vault, which is where Riley keeps her secrets and suppressed and repressed emotions. They encounter characters like Bloofy, Lance a slash blade, and the deep, dark secret. Now, I personally love Bloofy. I could not breathe in the movie theater when I saw this. He represents the innocence of childhood and nostalgia, whom I adore. And Lance slash blade is Riley's video game crush, who embodies the more adventurous and heroic aspects of her personality. He embraces his curse as a gift, which changes the game, so to speak, and it speaks to self-acceptance and using perceived weaknesses as strengths. And the deep dark secret represents Riley's most profound fears and unresolved emotions. And these suppressed emotions build up, like a vault actually. But what I learned in medical school is that when you have suppressed emotions, you can suppress them in a pressure cooker for a while. But just like anything, it has a limit. Any container has a limit. Any vault has a limit. Riley can only stuff so much inside before it explodes out. So when are you going to explode all those things that you've suppressed? And I want to know, do you suppress emotions or your memories? And could that be impacting you more than you realize? And now we're in the special shoutouts portion of the video where I just want to give a special shout out to certain moments. The brainstorm, the sarcasm, the stream of consciousness, and of course, one final piece that needs to be mentioned. Brainstorming allows us to explore various creative possibilities without considering practicality. And this light bulb brainstorm is brilliant.
Are we so lucky we ran into you guys?
Huh?
I love the sarcasm scene, or should I say, I love the sarcasm scene. And the stream of consciousness with food was, again, chef's kiss.
See, I told you I'd find it. The stream of consciousness.
But Joy. Wow, our girl is hungry.
Hop on something delicious.
And you better not have forgotten about the most important character in this whole movie, our Queen Supreme, who I want to meet and greet for right now, Nostalgia. I need her to come back, that sweet woman with her, okay, I'll be right back, see you in the next movie, is great.
I'm a good person.
Oh no!
I'm not good enough. What? I'm not good enough.
Okay, speaking of things that you probably didn't notice, I'd be impressed if you noticed that Riley's belief system, the thing that they introduced, to anchor the 3 acts of the film. A belief system shapes our sense of self, how we see ourselves, interpret events, and guide our responses, often without us realizing it. So in Act 1, Riley believes, I am a good person.
I'm a good person.
In Act 2, we start to see the conflict it creeps in with, if I am a firehawk, then I won't be alone.
She made a promise to her friends. She's not gonna break it.
Oh, you're so right, Joy.
And then Act 3 tragically has, I am not good enough.
I'm not good enough. What? I'm not good enough.
What is enough, I ask you? Who are we holding ourselves up against? We can all be better, but we are all enough. And by challenging our belief systems and being open to new ideas, we can reshape our sense of self, like Riley did. This kind of gentle self-awareness and self-reflection, it's crucial for personal growth. What does your sense of self say about you? And how do you interact with yourself?
Come on! Oh, man! I'm not good enough!
Anderson! Penalty box! 2 minutes!
No!
This climactic scene in Inside Out 2 is when we realize that Riley is spiraling into a full-blown panic attack as anxiety takes control and loses control.
I'm not good enough.
Come on, Riley. Get it together.
Come on, Riley, get it together. I'm not good enough. You have to score, Riley!
I believe that this moment is going to go down in cinematic history, and I'm sure some of you feel the same. A lot of people online have said that this moment really spoke to them. This is a powerful depiction how overwhelming emotions can get, leading to mental breakdowns, and it offers a realistic portrayal of something called panic disorder. I'm going to show you how the filmmakers expertly combined storytelling, cinematography, audio design to convey the intensity and authenticity of Riley's experience. Panic disorder is characterized by panic attacks. These are sudden, intense bouts of fear or discomfort that can peak within seconds, and they can happen anywhere, and they can feel paralyzing and suffocating. Symptoms include a rapid heart rate, sweating or diaphoresis, trembling, shortness of breath, and feelings of impending doom. In this scene, Riley's panic attack is triggered by anxiety's dominance, illustrating how panic disorder can be exacerbated by, what? Those negative thoughts that anxiety had. She thought she was protecting, but she was actually causing the problem. The film shows that even in someone as young as Riley, mental health struggles can manifest in profound ways. Have you ever experienced a panic attack? My friend was sharing with me that she was on a bridge and she just felt paralyzed and couldn't walk anywhere and just was stuck. And I can't imagine what that feels like, to feel so alone and paralyzed. The cinematography here, in addition, heightens the chaos and the disorientation that Riley experiences, because the camera work becomes more erratic. It has quick cuts, there's shaky movements, and there's different angles and close-ups that focus on Riley's distressed facial expressions and her world closing in. This visual approach mirrors a true panic attack where the world seems to close in around you. And then the lighting also plays a crucial role. As Riley's anxiety peaks, the colors become darker and more intense. They symbolize the encroaching fear and loss of control. Meanwhile, we see what's going on in Riley's headquarters, where anxiety is losing control. And as she breathes deeply and comes out of the attack, the colors subtly become warm again. And sound design is another critical element for movies in general, and that the filmmakers used here that adds to the scene's impact. They use heightened, rapid breathing sounds to underscore Riley's panic, and while the score intensifies with dissonant, chaotic music, that mirrors her internal turmoil. Here, take a listen.
I can fix it, I can fix it.
As Riley takes control with deep breathing, I'll explain what that is in a second, the music responds and softens, signaling her return to a balanced state of mind. Now let's talk about deep breathing, because it's something that you are in control of as well. It's another one of your superpowers. Deep breathing helps activate the body's parasympathetic nervous system, which counteracts the fight or flight response, which we call the sympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic's phrase is rest and digest, whereas sympathetic is fight or flight. So we want to be in parasympathetic as much as we can. This technique of deep breathing slows your heart rate, reduces tension, and helps bring you back to the present moment. And I'll demonstrate for you how to do it. We can do it together. You can try it wherever you are. So sit or stand comfortably with your back straight, be in your posture, be in your body. Place your hand on your belly and inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4 seconds, feeling your abdomen rise. Now hold your breath for 4 seconds. Now slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 4 seconds. One more time. That was less than 30 seconds of your day. And how do you feel now? Again, the climactic panic attack scene has stayed with me, and it's a masterclass in combining health with cinematic artistry. And in fact, the whole movie is. The film entertains and also educates, and it was successful. It made over $1 billion, and it touched so many people, which is one of my life missions, to offer a nuanced portrayal of health that resonates with audiences of all ages. Thank you for coming in for your cinematic checkup. I'm Dr. Peter, here to refill your movie script. Until your next. Health screening.